your strength from? You know, where did you get your strength and courage to go through even just those 3 days? Like, do you feel like you had, you know, do you have a religion you relied on? Did it, you know, how did you not crumble, I guess I'm saying, because even me listening to it, I'm just, you know.
I think the events of the night that I was brought into St. Mike's Hospital, where I was on the gurney and they brought me into the emergency OR room and they hooked me up to all kinds of things, put me on life support, and I could feel the room was very cold and I was getting very cold and machines were going off and people were panicking or running around, whatever they do, I couldn't really tell. And then I had this, all of a sudden, this sense of not really leaving my body, but really feeling like I had a choice whether I wanted to go or not. And then when I heard them say that, you know, they were losing me and all that kind of stuff, I really had like a panic, because I felt like from inside my own body I was yelling, you know, don't give up, and I felt like I was in a glass bubble, and I was banging on the glass telling them, you know, I'm here, don't let me die, I don't want to die yet, I'm not ready. And I think when I woke up the next day and realized that I hadn't died, that I felt like I was given another opportunity. And I think each step of the way over the many years, it's made me a lot stronger, and because I was given that gift to stay, I think that my strength has come from that.
So pre-accident to where you are today, you know, you're talking about the transformation. Did you always have that, I want to live, I want to do this? Did you always have that drive pre-accident?
I've always been a very driven person, I think, but I've always appreciated, you know, I think many things in life. That's, I think, the type of person I am by nature, but I think this whole accident, I really truly believe, people think you're crazy when you say it, but I truly believe it was a gift. I think as terrible as everything was, and perhaps at the time, you know, everybody thinks, why me, and, you know, how come this terrible thing has happened, and I think each step of the way it's been more and more gifts for me to learn from. And my daughter gave me the gift of life, because really if I hadn't been 9 months pregnant, I would not have lived at all. So she sort of took the cushion of a lot of the impact of my car accident. And I just think that knowing that, you know, there's so much more out there to experience and to live for is so important.
So over the years you learned to turn what might have been deemed a tragedy into a feeling of gratitude and love. And
absolutely. I think that we're all given things, whether we want to look at them as gifts or opportunities or just things for us to take and embrace and either learn from or not learn from. And things like accidents or body image, you know, injuries and things that people experience, whether they choose to look at them as opportunities to learn something from or grow from or not, I think are very important.
And how long were you in the hospital, you know, after the 26th of October?
I think it was about 2 weeks,
right.
And then I was allowed to go home, and then my recovery really started. I mean, you go through the grief process, you go to have a funeral and sort of deal with one thing, and then onward was just operation after operation. So
how many did you have in total?
It's been 30 operations to date, yeah.
Wow. And it was reconstruction of the face?
Yeah, I had approximately, I think, 16 or so on my face to rebuild my jaw and to rebuild bone structure and so on. So that was over a period of probably 8 to 10 years.
You look beautiful.
As my
husband met you when you came in, and he's, as you said, you would never know it. You look beautiful. So
didn't always look that good. Just between having your jaw wired and always being very puffy and swollen from surgery and so on. But yeah, it gave me a new appreciation to disfigurement and people that have. I mean, I know several times after operations, I'd be walking around in a mall at a grocery store, and you know, people are staring at you and looking at you, and you know yourself that, you know, I'm not going to look like this forever, but there's so many people out there that do have, you know, a disfigured way about them, and I had my eyes open quite a few times to many different things with that. And, yeah.
Do people treat you different when you you know, let's say when your face is swollen or disfigured, to how you look now? Do people receive you differently?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They look at you differently. They talk to you differently. I even remember, because I've stayed in so many hospitals all over Southern Ontario, I remember going into a different ward, and I won't say which hospital, but I was put on a mental ward, a challenged ward, because there was no room on the short stay ward. And the way I was treated there, and because I couldn't talk, I had my jaw wired, I couldn't say anything, and they took bone out of my pelvis, so I couldn't walk, and I needed assistance to get out of bed. And the way the nurses treated me there, like I was, you know, like my brain didn't work, like I couldn't hear anything they said, and I had a really, really rude awakening to, you know, how people are treated that perhaps are not as mentally functional as we all seem to think we are. And
that's a good way to put it.
You know, again, I had several occasions and several hospital stays where I had my eyes open to, you know, less fortunate people with much worse.
So once again, it's a gift.
Yeah, like I said, each one of these little episodes, hurdles, challenges, whatever we want to call them, pebbles in the water, you know, definitely teach me something.
Yeah. And
have taught me lots.
And now I know, because I've chatted to you, you went into bodybuilding. How does the connection from, because you were told you would never walk again, is that correct?
Correct.
So how did you go from hearing you're never going to walk again to I'll be putting up the pictures of your bodybuilding days, and you look spectacular. So how did you go from being told never to walk to being a competitive, you know, bodybuilder?
I've been a cyclist, actually, since I've been about 14, 15 years old, and I cycled everywhere, and I ran everywhere, and I was always fit, and I always did physical activity. Never was a gym person, never been in a gym before. And I think it was about halfway or 3/4 of the way through my recovery, I sort of had enough with your traditional physiotherapy, the traditional way of recovery, and I wanted to sort of take back control of my own health, and was seeking out different ways to heal, opposed to, you know, always going to the doctors. And I got a gym membership, and started working with a woman trainer who was in her 50s, who had competed many, many years prior. And, you know, she was talking about it, and I thought, wow, you know, what a challenge that would be. I wonder if I could do that. And from the moment I met her until the time I actually competed was probably a 4-year period of time where I was, you know, thinking about it, can I do it? And I had moved from one city to another, and decided when I had moved to this second city that I thought, I'm going to do this. I need to do this for me. And it wasn't a vanity thing, and it wasn't about people looking at me. It was really to see whether I had it in me to push myself to the limit.
Congratulations.
So, yeah.
You know, you look magnificent.
Thank
so how
you.
long did it take you to get into your peak condition?
Probably a good year of training, but then from, you know, start to when you actually commit yourself to do that type of training, it's about a 4-month period of time.